Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom!
They got the leg!
Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, somehow the boys go out to the West Coast again. They shock us. They make us eat our words. We look stupid. They get it done. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2, Jerry, and don't close the door on them yet, baby. We're not done.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'll tell you what, that was a really, really good game. I was really worried in the beginning of the game. It's just notorious with the Steelers. You just have to expect it. These super, super slow starts to games. They just can't move the ball. I mean, this team would be incredible if they could play a full game of football. They haven't yet, and that's okay. We're 4-2. I'll take it. We knew going into the game one of those guys was going to burn us. It was Puka, and that's okay. Kupp pretty much got locked down for the most part. Joey Porter Jr. did miss some tackles, but at the end of the day, 3 targets when he was on Puka, no catches, locked him down. My whole thing is this now. You just have to play him. There's like, I understand he's not the best tackler, but I'd rather miss a tackle than give up a 45-yard reception. You know what I mean?
Right. Missed tackle here and there you can live with.
Yeah,
it's what he makes a difference in the secondary. He literally makes a difference in the secondary.
And I'm sure he'll as the weeks go on, he'll become a better tackler and whatnot. But no, listen, defense, of course, as always, held us in that game. Struggled against the run, figured out a way to slow it down in the second half. TJ Watt's interception, just unreal. I mean, if you watch the game and you're a diehard Steelers fan, I seen it from the first play. Not only was TJ Watt getting double teamed, he was getting triple teamed.
Oh, yeah.
He would also get chipped, and then it would be a double team. And then if he got through that, there was another guy. So there was a couple plays where there was 4 people on him that I've seen. But, figured out a way, dropped back in coverage, interception, almost took it back to the house. Steelers capitalized on that drive. Kenny played incredible in the second half. When it matters the most, he steps up. And I think Terry Bradshaw said it perfectly. He doesn't throw a lot of touchdowns. But yes, he is the right man for this job. He just is. I mean, he's a guy that's going to give you his all the whole entire game. He knows how to win in the fourth quarter, which in his second year, even he did it last year. So even as a rookie, he won games in the fourth quarter. He made plays when it mattered the most. I'd rather have a guy like that, right, going into the playoffs than another guy who's shown he can't win big games when it matters. So I'll take Kenny Pickett in the playoffs every single time.
Jerry, so I just found this stat today, and it's like mind-blowing. What we've said for weeks now is we would love to see Kenny put a complete game together, a full 60-minute game. That's what we're waiting to hang our hat on. I've arrived. I've made it. I'm Kenny Pickett. I'm the Steelers quarterback. He hasn't given it to us yet. But if you take the fourth quarter of the Ravens game, and then you take the fourth quarter from that Rams game, these are Kenny's combined stats from just 2 quarters of football. 17 of 21, 1 touchdown, 280 yards, and a 134.6 passer rating. I mean, that's 2 quarters of football, and he passes for 280 yards, a touchdown, 17 to 21. He played perfect football.
Yeah.
It's not that Kenny Pickett is not capable of doing it. It's just that for whatever reason, it has to be crunch time. His back has to be against the wall, and Kenny can go out and do it. And something to me that I love to think about is he has played 18 starts now. Through his first 18 starts, he has 6 game-winning drives. Through Ben Roethlisberger's first 18 starts, he had 6 game-winning drives. The other stuff is going to come.
Yeah.
If Kenny can do that in crunch time in the biggest moments, I have faith that he can do it the other 3 quarters. It's
Of
just
course.
about, making it happen, getting him in that
Yeah.
position and actually putting it together. But if you're a Steelers fan and you walked away from that game still saying Kenny sucks and I'm not sold on him yet, I am still a little cautious to say I'm 100% in on him, but I am way more in on him than I've been maybe at any point, simply because
Yeah.
he's making a habit out of this, and that's the best game we saw Kenny Pickett play.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that is
I
the best
mean,
game we
dude.
saw Kenny play, Jerry.
I know the Steelers' schedule, like the last 2 years, they haven't, beat a team like the Bills, the Eagles, Chiefs, teams like that. They haven't beat. But
Right.
I mean, from what I see is like, hey, Kenny Pickett has beaten some quarterbacks that everybody has said that those guys are better than Kenny Pickett. He's beaten those guys. So he's slowly climbing up what I think is going to be, by the end of the year, I think Kenny Pickett can be a top 15 quarterback. I really do.
We had unfair expectations to start the season out of
Yeah.
preseason, and that's honestly what this comes down to. We
Yeah.
thought we were going to get polished Kenny Pickett by the, what I think we're going to see at the end of this season. We expected it in week 1.
Yeah.
We just didn't get it. But
Yeah.
if you don't think he's progressively getting better, Jerry, he was 17 of 25, 230 yards and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that's fine. That's really good.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Listen, he's not going to give you those Josh Allen numbers. He's not going to give you those Patrick Mahomes numbers. But hey, he wins games, man. He wins games, and at the end of the day, he's a winner. I want to talk a little bit about George Pickens.
Yeah.
My over for him was 7.5 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on the year. He's already at 3.
He's at 3.
So
He's at 3.
it's going to be close. I think he's going to finish with probably about 6, but you never know. If this guy, man, he's so good and so talented, and his chemistry with Kenny, you can just tell, is starting to get so much better.
Jerry, they might have the best back shoulder connection in the
100%.
NFL.
100%.
We talked about it last week. It's the only play they run. And early in the year, sometimes those balls were landing short of the receiver.
Yeah.
Or Kenny was, throwing them a little high and George was getting pushed out of bounds. They're to a point now, it's nearly indefensible.
Yes.
That back shoulder is a lethal play in their bag right now.
Yeah. George and Deontay played really, really well yesterday. They on Sunday. They played great, man. Having Deontay back was huge. He had a couple really big catches, another catch for a run that went for a lot of yards. So it's important to have guys like that back. Listen, people forget the defensive run game has been poor, but in another week or two, you'll start to see Cam Hayward get healthy. He'll be back. He's going to be, fresh for those last 8 games. It's going to be really big for this team. It's going to be a big confidence boost, a leader coming back. They did a lot of great things in the Rams, but honestly, I'm looking forward to this Jags game, because this Jags game is going to tell us Steelers fans a lot about this team.
Oh, this will be the most measuring stick game that we've had since we played. I would say when I talk about the Steelers and their schedule, I look at it 2 different ways. There's division games, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
Because division games, when we beat the Ravens or we beat the Browns, while they are good wins, I am not discrediting they are good wins, because those are 2 pretty good football teams. It's just different because the familiarity with that team is there. I want to see us go out there and beat a Jaguars team who's in the AFC, who is considered one of the good teams, up and coming good teams in the AFC. If the Steelers can go out there and beat this Jaguars team on Sunday and get to 5-2, knowing that you have a pretty beat up, not very good Titans team and a not very good Packers team as your next 2 games, it's going to really change the way that I feel about this football team moving forward.
Yeah.
But hitting off of another thing on Sunday's game that was actually very refreshing to see, the 2-headed monster at running back for the Steelers.
Yeah.
We ride Najee, and there were even points in that game where I'm tweeting when Jalen Warren scores, that's why, Najee shouldn't be out there. Najee, although he did have some stupid plays, there was a play where he tried to bump it to the outside and there's a hole right up the middle. He's still not seeing the game
doing
clear.
that. They got to stop trying to bump him outside. He's not fast enough for that.
He's not. He needs to stay between the tackles. If you just have him run, and to be fair, I think that play was designed to be between the tackles, and for whatever reason, he tried to bump it outside. But if you can just have Najee stay head down between the tackles and run, because he was running with, like, he looked like he's pissed off. When he runs that way, he's a great fucking running back.
Yeah.
And I tweeted after Jalen scored, like, that's why Jalen needs to get more touches. And then Najee comes back and scores himself. I need to just tone it down a little bit in the way that I criticize him, because it might just be a running back by committee, and I am just holding it against Najee that he's a first-round running back draft choice.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll ever see first-round running back play out of Najee, but we're still seeing very good running attacking coming out of the Steelers' offensive line. That fourth quarter alone, Jerry, they really put together the best offensive line play that I think we've seen this season against a good defensive line. Aaron Donald, come on, man.
Yeah, they had Donald's number yesterday, man. He didn't really have an impact on the game, which was good to scheme him right out of the game. That was really smart. He didn't, cause no damage. He was a non-factor yet Sunday. But yeah, man, I think when I look at the Jags game coming up, I'm excited to see the matchup, Lawrence versus Kenny Pickett. I'll tell you what, a lot of people will talk about this game media-wise. Kenny goes out there and we beat a really solid Jags team. Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I'm not saying people are going to be like, oh my God, Kenny Pickett's the next big thing, but people are going to, probably stop talking bad about him, because at the end of the day, he wins football games. This team is 4-2. This team, if it wasn't, this team should have, listen, they played poorly in a lot of games, but they figured out ways to win. Mm-hmm. They should have beat that Texans team. They came out flat. It was a bad game. They got rolled over. This team could have one loss if we didn't lose to that team, that Texans team. So
by the same token, we have also said that they lost to the Browns, and they could have lost to the Ravens if the Ravens don't drop the ball. So I think the Steelers are right about where we thought that they could have been. Yeah. One game goes this way, one game goes this way, but they're still right about where we thought that they might have been.
Yeah, and you go out there and you put up a good – listen, Steelers are coming back home. They come back home now. So
for 3 straight. 3 straight.
So that is really, really, really big for this team. 3-game homestand. I'm looking forward. I'm not even looking forward to the defense, the running game. I'm looking forward to Kenny Pickett coming out. I'm not going to say he's going to throw for 300 yards or whatnot and 3 TDs. I want him to have another one of these games, 20 for 25, 280 yards, and a touchdown, and maybe we have a rushing touchdown and a big turnover on defense, and he just is playing turnover-free football. Because when Kenny Pickett doesn't turn the ball over, Steelers win games.
They're hard to beat. You said something last week, and it was spot on. You said that when the defense plays bad, we lose. When the defense plays okay, we probably lose. When the defense plays great, we win. Yeah. Defense played great on Sunday. Cooper Kupp was damn near irrelevant. He had 2 catches for like 28 yards. Yeah. Okay. The first time that we faced Cooper Kupp in 2019, he had no catches. So hats off to Mike Tomlin. Somehow, some way, as much as we ride his ass, he comes back with these types of games. Yeah. The fucking guy, it doesn't matter. He comes back, he makes us eat our words. So I have a whole crazy thought process in my mind about Mike Tomlin. It's like, well, God damn it, then just hire a good offensive coordinator and I won't have to say a fucking word about you, because there are times where he coaches really good fucking football. Yeah. And the defense, they played great again on Sunday, but we finally saw the offense do what they had to do. And you're saying, Kenny didn't throw up these crazy numbers. I think he's close though. It comes back to what I'm saying. If he can do it for a whole quarter, he looked pretty good in the first half. I mean, he did go 17 of 25. That's only 8 incompletions. It's not like he's throwing a ton of bad balls, no interceptions. He did take some shots, but having Deontay Johnson back is a real spark that the Steelers offense needed, because now you can only double he or George Pickens. You can't double them both. No. And Kenny is cerebral enough that he's noticing that at the line, he's making the checks and he's getting the ball to whoever's not one doubled.
He even said that in his post-game press conference. It was like, you could double one of them now. You can't double them both, man. You can't double, because if you double them both, you're going to get burned somewhere. Right. I want to see the Steelers match up with the speed-wise for the Jaguars team this week. I want to see more Calvin Austin in the offense. I do. I really
It's
do.
crazy. You nearly didn't see him on Sunday.
No, man, they got to find a way. I mean, even if he's out there as a prop, you know what I mean, just running fly routes or deep post routes, just to have the
Stretch
defense
'em.
on their heels, stretch them out a little bit, get some stuff over the middle. I mean, he's the
Right.
perfect guy for that. So they got to figure out a way to utilize him, man. He's going just really not used on the offense every single week when he should. So if it was me, I would line up almost every fucking play George, Deontay, and fucking Calvin Austin out there. And if you need like a big, like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 type of play, keep Allen Robinson on the field. I don't know if Pat Fryermuth is coming back this week. Who
No,
knows?
Pat's on IR, Jerry. Pat's on IR. He'll be out 4 weeks.
Wow, he injured it that bad.
Yeah, they put him on IR.
Oh no,
so
that's not
he'll be
good.
out at a minimum 4 weeks. So that's that. The Pat thing hurts. You know, we had talked about it, and then I was talking
When
to
did they
him
put him on IR?
Friday, I want to say.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
I thought
Friday,
I thought he just re-aggravated the hamstring and then he'd come back. But wow.
IR, a minimum 4. So what's crazy is I was DMing him and he was hype in the DMs. I mean, he's hype. He's like, let's go. Offense is going to get it rolling on Sunday. And then the next day he tweaks that hamstring. And it's, I feel bad. We know him personally. We've hung out with him a few times. He's a good dude. And it sucks whenever a guy like that, has high expectations, high hopes, and then just can't stay healthy this season. So,
I think they're going to keep him around though. I don't see the Steelers doing away with him after his rookie deal.
No, I mean, he's only in year 3. He's only in year 3, so we have at least one more year. Yeah. And then, these types of things, though, hate to say it because you don't want to really pocket watch another guy, for what he's going to make. But these types of things will keep his price tag down a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more manageable as far as that goes. Another thing, Jerry, that I want to discuss is fucking offensive line and Dan Moore Jr. That motherfucker had a great game. I mean, he had a great game. This is so hard for me to say because you and I had a conversation off air where we're like, sometimes you just want to see him make such a bad mistake that it costs him the job and we never have to look back and we can be like, haha, motherfuckers, like we got you. We were right. And it's just, the guy played great. He played very good football, which then started to turn some gears in my mind. This morning, I read some hypothetical draft some trade scenarios where what would Dan Moore Jr.'s trade value be as a left tackle? And apparently it's decent. It's a decent trade value. I would not. Here's the thing. We have really crushed that guy and we couldn't figure out why the Steelers went to him over Broderick Jones after Broderick gave us that game. What if Tomlin was doing this, he comes back, he has a good game, boosts his stock back up, and then they try and move on from him. And we look like the biggest idiots because they played, chess and we were looking at checkers moves.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility. Speaking of deadline, I think we got about a week or two left.
A week.
I don't know if the Steelers are going to be buyers or they're not going to be sellers. I know that.
Depending. A guy like moving on from Dan Moore for draft stock, that might not hurt.
Yeah, no, that might not hurt, but you never know with Omar Khan, man. You never know what that guy has up his sleeve. I mean,
we need a cornerback.
Yeah,
we need a cornerback.
Yeah, I just don't know if they're going to go out and get a guy like Surtain. I can see them bringing Terrell Edmonds back.
So that was something that could be suggested. He's familiar with the system, but here's the thing. What do you need him for if the only thing I could think that he would make sense would be playing him kind of in that slot role where Pete has kind of shifted into. Yeah. Because Joey Porter Jr. is going to play on the outside. Levi Wallace, man, shouldn't play football, Jerry. I mean, that's not – we could say it every week, and this is the only negatives that I'll have in this
game.
It's the only negatives that I have this entire show. Like, I'm hype. I'm hype as fuck. We're 4-2. I said if we won that game, my vibes will be high. He still sucks. That guy is fucking dog water, Jerry. And I mean, he gave up that first touchdown. He's like a deer in headlights, man. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing out there. And so to see that over and over and over, there is just no reason he should be out there. But the hard part is, who else do you play over?
You don't have the depth to do it.
Right,
that's the problem. I mean, I'll tell you what. I would have loved to see Corey Trice get some playing time this year. It's unfortunate with the injury, but he's like not as polished as Joey Porter Jr., but he's very long. He's fast. He's tall. You know what I mean? He's physical. Joey Porter is physical as well. You know what I mean? Don't get
Right.
it twisted. He's not
Press,
some like
hard press corners.
yeah, he's not no corner that's going to play 10 yards off the line like some of these corners do. He's a press corner, man. He's going to get in your face.
There was a play, that third down where it's like 3rd and 3 late in the fourth, and Puka has a route where it's like 3 yards and in.
Yeah.
Joey Porter is in his fucking hip pocket, man.
Oh, yeah.
Breaks the play up. I mean, he literally was as tight as you could possibly be without drawing a flag. Yeah. You don't see Levi Wallace or Pat Peake. They don't have the hips or the legs under them anymore to do that kind of shit. Losing power, Jerry Don.
Oh, lights went in. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Oh, motion. They're motion lights.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you really think about his arrow has trended up every single week. Joey Porter Jr. is starting to become a very good cornerback for the Steelers, which is so refreshing because we haven't had one early in their career, unless it was a guy like Hayden coming in late, you know. You have Cam Sutton, who I loved Cam Sutton, no disrespect. Mike Hilton, love that guy, no disrespect. But Joey Porter Jr. has the ability to be one of those elite lockdown type of cornerbacks, and you're seeing it more every week. Puka Nacua is a dog, and he bullied him. I mean, he really outplayed him in that game.
Yeah, it's not going to happen because I don't think they're going to switch up. I was thinking about the deadline and stuff, and I think center is also a need they have to address in the draft at some point. But I was thinking about, bringing in a good center. I just don't see that happening middle of the year, with the chemistry Cole has with Kenny. But I don't know, man. Like, I'll say it. I would love to get Edmonds back. I really would. I just think Minka plays so much better when he's on the field. And Terrell Edmonds, for where he was drafted, has not lived up to it, so far in his NFL career. But he is a reliable guy you can count on every week back there. He's not going to, make these crazy, crazy plays. But, hey, when he was on the field, Minka played amazing. You really haven't heard Minka's name this year much.
No. Two notes. You've heard Minka's name a lot. It's just for reasons that we're not familiar with. Minka Fitzpatrick is on pace for 147 tackles, which would absolutely obliterate the Pittsburgh Steelers single season tackle record. Your safety should not be the one breaking that record.
That's the problem.
That's a big fucking problem. But getting back to Edmonds, there are guys who their best situation is their first situation, and when they go to other teams, they just, maybe it's not the fit for them. That's just not what their game is comfortable with. It's not what they're engineered to be doing. And you saw that in Philly, so Philly trades him off to the Titans. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if somehow he did end up back in Pittsburgh.
I messaged him today. He got back to me. I messaged him today. I said, would love to see you back in the Berg, bro. Good luck with everything in your new journey. And he goes, love, bro, with the fingers crossed.
So see, and that he probably knows that too. It's like when we had
be back in Pittsburgh, dude.
Right. It's like when we had Le'Veon on, and Le'Veon was at the terrible tailgate in LA Sunday, and he turned up again. But something that he had told me while we were there, he's like, Pittsburgh was my best situation. He's like, and you don't realize those types of things until you're out of there, because you think as a player you are, the situation will work for you no matter where you go because you're talented. And to have to see that, this could be a type of situation for Terrell Edmonds. Maybe he sees that, he realizes Pittsburgh's a situation for him. Maybe the Steelers realize it. But I'm not knocking on Keanu Neal or DeMonte Casey. They've both played pretty goddamn good football. So I'm not the safety spot is not so much my concern. It's the run D through the middle. We get gashed up the middle of the defense through the running game
every week.
Every week. And that, like you said, it could be Cam. Cam comes back, maybe we get that figured out. We did tighten it up later in the game, but I mean, Jerry, Darrell Henderson coming off of the fucking his couch on Thursday, suits up, and he ran it down our throats in that first half, man. Gashed us. That's a problem because Travis Etienne, Jerry, can run the football. That's what scares the shit out of me.
My biggest fear going into this game is the Jaguars' speed on the outside. You got Ridley, you got Kirk, who's a very good wide receiver. You got Etienne flying out of the backfield. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting game, man. Because you can't scheme up three of those guys. You know what I mean? You can't take all those three guys away. It's just a matter of which guy is going to beat you. You know what I mean?
You need to minimize it, kind of how the Steelers did for Cooper Kupp and Puka
Yes.
Nacua. One of them's going to kill you. I
Exactly.
mean, it's just which one are you comfortable with having? And here's the thing: it's not that we need them to get 0 yards. That's not the expectation. What the Steelers did on Sunday, hats off to Terrell Austin. I'll eat crow for it. He schemed up a good game. Hats off Mike Tomlin, man. Hats off fucking Mike Tomlin. He schemed another good football game. He took some of their weapons off of the field. Pretty much made them irrelevant, and so hats off to Matt Canada too, Jerry.
Yeah.
That was, he schemed a good game.
Yeah.
The fucking guy, he's a bum. I don't want him back. Don't get it twisted. He's an absolute bum. He still has to prove a lot. He still has to prove a lot to us, but fuck, man, it's a week by week game. I'll assess it 1 week at a time. And last week was Matt Canada's maybe his best scheme that we've seen. He did some things and he used the middle of the field. Kenny used the middle of the field on some slants and some in routes, things that we have been begging for, where you just let Deontay and George Pickens speed clear out the middle of the field, and then you hit him, and it does what Deontay's pass did. That's a 10-yard catch. He turns into 35 yards down the field because he's that electric in space.
Oh yeah.
And there was another play where we were at maybe the 20 going down to score on the left side. We ran a fake trap to the right side. And then you saw Connor, who was faking as if he was going that way, turns around, then goes back out into the flat left side. Kenny hits him, takes it down to about the 5. We score on the next play.
Yeah.
So those are things we haven't seen the Steelers do yet. When I watched the game back, I'm like, we've not run that play.
No.
It's easy to keep track. We only have about 15 plays, but I know I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
And so they're growing. I'll say that this is still a young football team. It's easier for me to say it now when we're 4-2 than if we were 2-4, because I would be fucking fire them all. What the hell are we doing? But the Pittsburgh Steelers are growing and their arrow is trending upwards. They play a more complete football game than a lot of other teams in the NFL do. We can say that.
Well, 100%. Listen, I don't need this team to be, hitting their stride in September, October. I need this team to hit their stride December, January. You know what I mean? That's when you need to hit the stride. Listen, the Steelers are just starting out, just going like this. They haven't even come close to the peak yet. I'll tell you what, if this team stays on the same trajectory, I'm not saying this team's going to go to the Super Bowl, but this is a team you wouldn't want to play in the first round.
Depending who it is, I was thinking about this yesterday. Who would I not want to play? And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because there's so much that has to happen yet. But who would I not want to play? Mostly just the Chiefs. The Dolphins have shown us that they can be beat. Yeah. The Bills have shown us that they're very spotty. The Ravens, we've proven that we can beat. The Bengals, we've proven that we can beat. The Browns, we've proven we can beat. The Jags, we'll find out on Sunday.
Exactly.
I think maybe we're a little harder on the Steelers out of the gates than we should have been, because realistically, as some of those other teams, the Dolphins have fallen back into, normal stratosphere. You see the Niners lose 2 in a row. This is the NFL, man. You're going to lose games. You're going to lose some games. And though the Steelers are still winning ugly football, Sunday I walked away from that game the most optimistic that I've been this season, because at least we've proven in the second half we can score 3 touchdowns. Each running back had a touchdown. Kenny keeps one, moves the ball down the field. We at least looked like a legitimate football team in the second half in Los Angeles.
Listen, I never want to say I don't want to win a football game. I'll never say that. I want the Steelers 100% to win on Sunday against the Jaguars. But don't get it twisted. If the Steelers go out and the game is 24-21 and they played hard and they just didn't have a break go their way, listen, I'm okay, because you're going to drop games in the NFL. It depends on what the game looks like. Now, you go out there and the Jaguars hang 35 and it's 35-14, it's a different story. But as long as the Steelers go out there Sunday and prove to us and the fans and the coaches, like, hey, we might have lost that game, but we could hang with these teams that people have bet Super Bowl futures on to win the Super Bowl. People automatically, right from this, when the schedule comes out, they say, okay, this team's making the playoffs. Like, if you go out there and you hold your own against those type of teams, I'm fine with that. I just want to see a really good football game. I want to see the Steelers win the game. I would love to keep scoring on offense. I hope Kenny grows from last week and has an even better week this week. Najee gets going, Pickens and Deontay out there doing their thing. So,
improvement. Just
know.
improvement. That's
Yeah.
what we want to see.
Yeah.
Just, continue to grow. Even if Kenny has another bad first quarter, but he plays 3 great quarters after that, I'll be fucking over the moon with happiness, man.
Exactly. I just want to go out there and have a good game and have a chance to win at the end. You know what I mean?
Jerry, something that I want to discuss, so you guys know we probably have about 8 minutes. Jerry has to do a stream for the World Series here, so we got to burn through this. But very quickly, I do want to talk about TJ Watt.
Yeah.
He's maybe the best defensive player in football. Not maybe. He's the best defensive player in football. He's probably a top 3 player in the NFL right now.
Oh yeah.
And that's offensive players too, man.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he's so disrespectful. I mean, did you see the NFL? The NFL's header and their NFL
their banner tagline is Myles Garrett, defensive player of the year, question mark.
Yeah, in their bio. Like, dude, listen, I'm not saying Myles Garrett's a bad football player. He's not a bad football player. But the media, they suck his dick so much, bro. It's crazy. I mean, every time the Steelers have played the Browns, right? Every single fucking time they have played each other, the main story at the end of it is TJ Watt is a game wrecker. Myles Garrett didn't do a fucking thing. I mean, they can suck his dick all they want. At the end of the year, if it's fucking close, and you could put this on record, make no mistake about it, even if TJ Watt leads the league in sacks and Myles Garrett is like 2 or 3 sacks behind him, they're going to give it to Myles Garrett. You've seen it before. They gave it to Aaron Donald. It's a popularity award, you know what I mean? It really is. The only way TJ wins Defensive Player of the Year this year is if he breaks the sack record.
Right. He's on pace for 25.
Yeah,
TJ Watt's on pace for 25 sacks. He has 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, an interception, and a touchdown. Yeah. That's fucking unheard. He's an edge rusher, and when he drops into coverage, he looked unbelievable. The recognition for him to read that play, to give his guy up out in the flat, to jump that route on Cooper Kupp, to catch that ball. And that's not a rookie quarterback throwing that football either. No. He didn't think TJ was going to be anywhere near the play. Yeah. He is just a special football player. TJ Watt is a top 3 player in the entire NFL. And I heard Shady come out, LaShawn McCoy, and he said Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in football. No disrespect to TJ Watt. He's just a better football player.
Wrong.
Go fuck yourself, Shady.
Wrong.
And you know what that is? It's just disrespectful to a guy who's done it longer and at a higher level.
Yes,
no disrespect. Mike is good. TJ has been doing this longer and at a higher level, and he's having a better season even this year.
100%, dude. Like, listen, at the end of the day, the media is going to suck Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons' dick. And, we just have to live with it as Steelers fans. But, hey, at the end of the day, I know going into a football game, I don't care what nobody fucking says. I'd rather have TJ Watt on defense than any other fucking player in the NFL. Because guess what? Even if, teams do what they do, listen, teams are getting a lot smarter. TJ Watt has gotten away with the double teams, for the, his first 2-3 years, he didn't really get doubled and whatnot. Even the 4th year, he wasn't really getting doubled. But teams are starting to get smart. You've seen it back-to-back weeks now. They're starting to put 2-3 people on him. But I'm okay with that. That's fine. That just opens it up for us. You know what I mean?
He gets chipped a lot. He gets chipped almost every single play. He gets chipped.
Every play. Listen, at the end of the day, it's very simple for me. I'd rather have TJ Watt on my football team than any other defensive player in the NFL. I don't care who says what. The numbers prove it. They have all these dumb, the PF whatever fucking
rush rate rushes or what the fucking hurries.
Yeah, whatever. All that bullshit. Whatever. Go ahead. You can keep those fucking numbers. TJ Watt, if he stays healthy, he will have more sacks than Myles Garrett. He will have more interceptions. He will have, more forced fumbles at the end of the year. He's just a better player. He just is. He just is.
We're honestly blessed that we have him, and I think sometimes we see him do this with such regularity that we're almost kind of numb to it. But you see an edge rusher do what TJ Watt did. You're absolutely right. They did scheme him out of the pass rush aspect of the game on Sunday. They chipped him, they doubled, they tripled him. He never had a one-on-one on the outside, which it's good smart coaching. But he still found a way to make an impact and turn that game in our favor. And from that point forward, the Steelers took over that game
100%.
and didn't look back.
Yep.
So that's to me what a great football player is. When the other team knows they have to do everything they can do to scheme you out, and you still find a way to fucking take over a football game, that's when you're one of the best players in the entire fucking world.
Yeah.
Hats off TJ Watt, Jerry. We're fucking blessed we have him.
I think you're going to start to see him move around.
They're going to have to. I was going to suggest that. They're going to have to start moving him around because teams are going to be playing as if, okay, we come down, we chip TJ.
Yeah.
Who's to say they don't switch sides, because that's going to fuck up the whole play then.
Oh, yeah.
Or they rush him, they bull rush him up the middle. Yeah. I think the Steelers, one thing that we will say, they're good at rushing the passer. I think that they see that too. They'll find a way to still get TJ Watt involved.
He'll start the game off where he always starts the game off, but make no mistake about it. I think against the Jaguars, if they kind of take what the Rams did and schemed him out, they're going to put 2 or 3 guys on him. But I think the Steelers are smart enough to start moving him around, start switching sides, maybe go up the middle, fake like you're lined up on a receiver in the slot and rush from over there. I think they're smart enough to do those things. So I'm hoping we see that on Sunday.
Absolutely. Jerry, you know what I'm hoping we see on Sunday? The two of us win a fucking bet.
Yeah.
So to recap the betting last week, Jerry Don took Cooper Kupp over receiving yards. And he swore that this would be Cooper Kupp's, game of the season.
But it was Puka's game of the season.
It was Puka's game of the season. I took the Steelers, or I took the over 43.5. I missed it I was right though. We scored one more touchdown. We scored 24. I just honestly thought that the Rams would put up more offense.
Yeah.
This week, the line is over under 41.5. The Steelers are home dogs. They get 1.5 points. Yeah. What is your bet this week, Jerry?
You have 1.5?
Yeah. FanDuel gives you 1.5.
Wow. See, I had 3 this morning.
Yeah. 1.5. Really? You got +3.
I got the Steelers at +3 already. Hold on.
FanDuel yesterday it was 1.5. Whenever we were going to record yesterday, I wrote it down at 1.5. So to recap the season,
Steelers are
I am 2
right now. Today.
Wow.
They're +3.
I'm taking the 3. Yeah. No doubt about it. I'm taking the 3. The +3, 100% is the bet that I'm taking.
I'm going to take +3 as well.
Okay. So then we'll do a parlay, and the parlay will determine it then.
Yeah.
So I will take Steelers +3, Deontay Johnson, anytime touchdown scorer. He's due. They started to click. He's getting in the end zone on Sunday. You can book it. Deontay Johnson, Steelers +3, parlay that shit. Let's make some money.
I'm going to do Steelers +3 for my parlay and Kenny Pickett over passing yards. I'm not sure what the line will be. We'll figure it out at game time, what it closes at, because the odds aren't there yet. But I'm going to take over passing yards for Kenny Pickett this week.
So to recap, Jerry is 3-3 on his season of bets. I am 2-4. Jerry is still up 1 bet on me. We have a front row tickets to a road game on the line next year, so we are gonna look into to that as far as the winnings go. Jerry, shout out Zeds. Shout out the boys at Zeds again. We got another care package coming here soon. They always hook it up. I actually was listening to 93.7 The Fan today, and they were talking about how Zeds has some of the best vintage memorabilia. Yeah. So I love that the boys are starting to get their flowers. They have the best gear. Stop down Zeds in the South Side. They always hook Jerry and I up. Tell them the Steel Here podcast sent you. We love those fucking guys.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Good people over there.
Guys, we love the support. We appreciate the support. The show is growing.
Gotta subscribe to the channel. Gotta subscribe.
Subscribe for Jerry right now. Leave a comment. Comment fucking anything you want.
The comments are big. Even if you don't agree with us on certain things, the comments help the algorithm. So, comment your opinions, your takes. If you agree, great. If you don't, still comment. We love seeing the feedback. Comments and subscribes and likes all help the algorithm for us.
Tell us which day of the week you want to listen to the show. Like Jerry and I have kicked this around, pretty extensively here the last couple of weeks. Like what day should we be releasing the show? We normally release it on Wednesdays. We record on Tuesday evenings. We drop it on Wednesday evening. We've come to find that some of our best success is when we record on Monday and drop on a Monday, or we drop on an early Tuesday. Yeah. So let us know, which day are you guys looking to have us drop the show? Which day would you like to hear it? And leave that comment for us. So we appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe.
Final score prediction, Jags, Steelers.
Honestly, Jerry, I think that this is a game that the Steelers go 27-24.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like that. I'm going to go I'm going to go Steelers 23, Jaguars 21.
So we both think that the Steelers win. Real quick, Jerry, we got fucking 30 seconds. I want to go through the Steelers schedule one more time now that we're feeling a little better about it. You're saying Steelers beat Jaguars on Sunday. Yep. Titans is the next game.
Win.
Thursday Night Football, Steelers-Titans, November 2nd, win. Packers is after that. Browns on the road.
Loss.
Bengals on the road.
Loss.
Cardinals come to town.
Win.
Patriots come to town.
Win.
On the road, the Colts.
Win.
At home, Bengals.
Win.
Seahawks on the road.
Win.
Ravens going on the road to the Ravens.
Loss.
So now, Jerry, you see us winning another 8 games here. So do you think we're getting to 12 wins?
I think we could. I really do. I really do. Listen, it varies every week, but I'm telling you, bro, the schedule is really favorable for us this year. It really is. It's not the hardest schedule. It's not the easiest schedule. You know, our division is very, very, very hard. But guess what? We already beat the Browns. We already beat the Ravens. You might, I don't know. You might see a sweep. This year. You might. You never know. But listen, the Steelers are a better football team than the Packers. The Steelers are a better football team than the Patriots. The Steelers are a better football team than the Colts. They're a better football team than the Cardinals. The Titans. They're just better. That's better. That's 5
wins. That's 5 guaranteed wins that I say we should have.
Yes.
That, to me, gets us to 9 wins right there. And then all we have to do is figure out a way to beat the Seahawks. Exactly. Figure out how to beat the Seahawks, the Ravens, the Bengals out of 2 looks at it, or the Browns, one more of these goes.
Yes.
Or you beat the Jags this Sunday. Steelers win even 2 of those last 4 and handle their business against those inferior teams. They get to 11 wins. I think 11 wins either puts us as the 5 seed or wins the division.
Yes. I think 11 games will win you the division this year.
And that would be huge. A home playoff game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I will shut up a lot about criticism of Mike Tomlin if we can get to that point.
Dude, if the Steelers somehow, some fucking way this year get a home playoff game, we're in a great fucking spot, man.
I'll be so hyped, Jerry.
The fans this year have been really good when it comes to traveling to games. They've been great this year. They've been really fucking good.
Atmosphere in LA was unreal, Jerry. It's just all Steelers fans. It's all like, I am mind blown when I see that. Vegas, all Steelers fans. LA, all Steelers fans.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane how well that fan base travels. I could not be happier that I was born and raised to be a Steelers fan. We're absolutely fucking blessed that this is the team we get to cheer for.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you here next week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the other side.
Yep. See you guys.
Later, Jer.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.